عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس كان من الجن ففسق عن أمر ربه أفتتخذونه وذريته أولياء من دوني وهم لكم عدو بئس للظالمين بدلا ما أشهدتهم خلق السماوات والأرض ولا خلق أنفسهم وما كنت متخذ المضلين عضدا ويوم يقول نادوا شركائي الذين زعمتم فدعوهم فلم يستجيبوا لهم وجعلنا بينهم موبقا ورأى المجرمون النار فظنوا أنهم مواقعوها ولم يجدوا عنها مصرفا ولقد صرفنا في هذا القرآن للناس من كل مثل وكان الإنسان أكثر شيء جدلا وما منع الناس أن يؤمنوا إذ جاءهم الهدى ويستغفروا ربهم إلا أن تأتيهم سنة الأولين أو يأتيهم العذاب قبلا وما نرسل المرسلين إلا مبشرين ومنذرين ويجادل الذين كفروا بالباطل ليدحضوا به الحق واتخذوا آياتي وما أنذروا هزوا ومن أظلم ممن ذكر بآيات ربه فأعرض عنها ونسي ما قدمت يداه إنا جعلنا على قلوبهم أكنة أن يفقهوه وفي آذانهم وقرا وإن تدعهم إلى الهدى فلن يهتدوا إذا أبدا وربك الغفور ذو الرحمة لو يؤاخذهم بما كسبوا لعجل لهم العذاب بل لهم موعد لن يجدوا من دونه موئلا وتلك القرى أهلكناهم لما ظلموا وجعلنا لمهلكهم موعدا صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us about the creation of Adam, and at that time how Iblis, which was a jinn, did not do sajda when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded to do so. So وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ, when we said to the angels, usjudu li Adam, do sajda or prostrate yourselves before Adam. فَسَجَدُوا, so they all prostrated or did sajda right away. إِلَّا Iblis, except Iblis, كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ, he was from among the jinn kind. فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ, so he rebelled against the command of your Lord. So the angels, they are made in such a way that they cannot disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jinn kind, they are made of fire, and the nature of fire is that it does not want to limit itself, it wants to spread, and it does not want to obey or submit. So jinn, Iblis was a jinn, so he did that. But that does not mean that it was that jinn kind or Iblis or any of the human beings, they are allowed to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because everything, our desires, our side, that side which wants to go without boundaries, and similarly the jinn kind, if they want and if they try, they can control it. So therefore Iblis was also supposed to control his desire not to submit himself and lower himself before Adam and listen to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do you still take him and his progeny, so the shaitan, Iblis, and his progeny? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that the shaitan lays its eggs in the markets. Therefore the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that do not be among that person who goes to the markets a lot, basically. So do not go to markets a lot, go there early and be the last person to leave. Don't be like that, because the shaitan lays its eggs there and they hatch there. That is one hadith, one narration which tells us that shaitan also has offsprings and children the way we understand it to be. Otherwise, the other meaning is very obvious, which is that those people from among the jinn and the humankind which do the work of shaitan, they will be called the progeny of shaitan, which invite others towards sinning and disobedience and listening to their desires. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that would you still take him and his progeny as friends min duni, apart from Allah himself. وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ, and they have been your enemy to you. بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا, evil is the substitute of obedience to Allah for the zalimeen, for the wrongdoers. So whoever takes, it's not that the substitute of obedience to Allah, if only taken by the zalimeen, that's a bad thing to do. It's basically whoever does that, they become a zalim, and that's a bad thing that they do, that they take a substitute for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So evil is their substitute that they take, and evil is their action. ما أشهدتهم خلق السماوات والأرض ولا خلق أنفسهم وما كنت متخذ المضلين عضدا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I did not make them witness of the creation of the heavens and the earth, nor of their own creation. So basically they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted. They have no part in creation or being worshipped. وَمَا كُنْتُ مُتَّخِذَ الْمُضِلِّينَ عَضُدًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I was not such that I should take the misleaders as helpers. So the meaning here is that there is no way that I would take anyone as help, let alone the misleading, the misleaders, those who have gone astray. وَيَوْمَ يَقُولُ نَادُوا شُرَكَائِيَ الَّذِينَ زَعَمْتُمْ فَدَعَوْهُمْ. So on that day, recall the day of judgment, when Allah will say, نَادُوا شُرَكَائِيَ الَّذِينَ زَعَمْتُمْ, call the partners, call the shuraka'i. So in your understanding, those that you associated as partners with me, call them. Alladina za'amtum, whom you claimed as such. So you associated partners with me, call them now. Fada'awhum, so they will call them. Falam yastajibu lahum, but none of those associate gods will listen or respond to them. Waja'alna baynahum mawbiqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put a destructive barrier between them. وَرَأَى الْمُجْرِمُونَ النَّارَ فَظَنُّوا أَنَّهُمْ مُوَاقِعُوهَا. On that day, and the sinners will see the fire. وَظَنُّوا أَنَّهُمْ مُوَاقِعُوهَا, and they will finally know, and they will realize, and they will know without doubt that they have to fall. This is what is going to happen to them, that the fire is right here, and now they are going to fall into it. وَلَمْ يَجِدُوا عَنْهَا مَصْرِفًا. And imagine the time that they will find no way to bypass it. They will be seeing the fire right away. All their life they belied that fire, and now that fire will be before them, and they will know that this is the moment where we are going to be dropped into that fire, and they will not be able to escape it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from it. وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِلنَّاسِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, indeed we have explained in this Quran every subject in various ways, linnas, for the benefit of people. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. But the thing is that insan, the human being particularly, out of all creations, is the most disputing kind. So the meaning here is that the Quran contains the necessary knowledge of all aqaid, which is the core of our deen, and then built on it, the Prophet ﷺ has told us all the things that are supposed to be done, which are the faraiz and the wajibat and the sunnah that are included in our deen, and the hurumat that we have to stay away from. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has completed the claim, so that nobody can have any claim. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. But human beings, particularly out of all creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are such that they are the most arguing kind. The Prophet ﷺ has said that on the day of judgment, when all of this would happen and the book of deeds will be put before a person, the person would, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would ask them that what did you do, what was your matter, or how did you deal with the Nabi or the Rasul that I sent among you. He would say that I listened to him and I obeyed you and I worshipped you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say that you have done a lie, and here's a witness. Here's the witness right before you in the book of deeds. And he would say that, Ya Allah, I do not accept this. How can I know the person who wrote it? I have not even seen it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say that this is the Lawh Mahfuz. This is the sacred tablet in which everything is written. He would say that I do not take this as a witness. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he would say that I will only accept that witness that would be given when I saw that thing or that entity that's witnessing it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put a lock on his tongue, and then his other body parts will start speaking and will witness against him. So then he will not be able to refute that witness or that proof from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And under this ayah, this hadith has been mentioned that human beings are the most disputing kind. وَمَا مَنَعَ النَّاسَ أَن يُؤْمِنُوا إِذْ جَاءَهُمُ الْهُدَى. There is nothing, the only thing that prevented people from believing. إِذْ جَاءَهُمُ الْهُدَى, when even after the guidance had come to them, وَيَسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّهُم, and that from seeking forgiveness from their Lord over what they had been doing. So the only thing that prevented them, إِلَّا أَن تَأْتِيَهُمْ سُنَّةُ الْأَوَّلِينَ أَوْ يَأْتِيَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ قُبُلًا, is that their only demand that what it should be brought to them what used to come to the earlier people. أَوْ يَأْتِيَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ قُبُلًا, or that adhab, that punishment, should visit them face to face. So basically, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Quran and the Nabi sends all the logic, all the reasons, and brings them to reason, and still they don't want to come to reason, then what are they doing? They are waiting for the punishment to come to them. وَمَا نُرْسِلُ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِلَّا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ. And they asked the Mursaleen, the Rasul or the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring forth that punishment. So the fact of the matter is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not send the messengers except as bearers of good news and warnings. وَيُجَادِلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِالْبَاطِلِ لِيُدْحِضُوا بِهِ الْحَقِّ. And those who do disbelief, kufr, they raise disputes on the basis of false arguments. That argument that if you cannot bring the punishment right away, you are not a true Nabi or not a true Mursal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasul of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that argument is batil. Why? Because the job of a prophet is not to bring punishments upon people. The job of a prophet is to tell them of good things or bad things, depending on what they are doing. وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِي وَمَا أُنذِرُوا هُزُوًا. What they are doing is that they have taken my signs, the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the warnings, whatever warnings are given to them, huzwa, as mockery. They take it lightly, they do not take it seriously. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَاهُ. Who is more unjust than the one who was reminded through the signs of his Lord, بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا. But he turned away, he chose to turn away from them. وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَاهُ, and forgot what his own hands sent ahead. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً. Indeed, we have put covers on their hearts, أَن يَفْقَهُوا, that bar them from understanding. وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا, and we have created deafness in their ears. وَإِن تَدْعُهُمْ إِلَى الْهُدَى, and if you, the Prophet ﷺ, or anyone calls them to guidance, فَلَن يَهْتَدُوا إِذًا أَبَدًا, they will never adopt the right path. So because of their choosing the kufr and continuous misdeeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did this to them. وَرَبُّكَ الْغَفُورُ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ. But the reason why the punishment does not come right away is because your Lord is the most forgiving and the Lord of mercy. So therefore, He keeps on allowing them time out of His mercy. This rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is widespread, even extends to the kuffar, that the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not come. لَوْ يُؤَاخِذُهُمْ بِمَا كَسَبُوا لَعَجَّلَ لَهُمُ الْعَذَابِ. If Allah was such that He would have caught them, if He would have seized them for what they did, لَعَجَّلَ لَهُمُ الْعَذَابِ, it was totally fair. Allah could have done it. He may cause the punishment to befall them sooner. So it was totally just. It was they totally earned it, and also it is within the perfect authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the punishment could have come right away if it were not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was Ghafoor and Rahim. بَل لَهُم مَوْعِد. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed a time. بَل لَهُم مَوْعِد. Rather, for them there is a appointed time. لَن يَجِدُوا مِن دُونِهِ مَوْئِلًا, from which they can never find a place of refuge. So this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that the people who are mocking and ridiculing the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this day is going to come for sure. وَتِلْكَ الْقُرَىٰ أَهْلَكْنَاهُمْ. These are the towns أَهْلَكْنَاهُمْ, that we destroyed. لَمَّا ظَلَمُوا, when they, which means that their people, ظَلَمُوا, did injustice or transgressed. وَجَعَلْنَا لِمَهْلِكِهِمْ مَوْعِدًا, and we had appointed a time for their destruction. So in the past as well, all the nations that were destroyed, they were not destroyed right away. They were not destroyed when they irritated their prophet and within a matter of moments they were destroyed. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being Ghafoor and Rahim, allowed them time, and then on a promised time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after giving them multiple warnings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finally destroyed them. So this is nothing new. Every Nabi, this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did to their people. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن الذي أهلك وخاصتك وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.